today we are not really talking about books, which is weird, but I've been asked to film this video so many times over the last couple of years and I've never done it because I don't know. I feel like I should have done this, but I didn't. So I'm doing it now. Better late than never, right? I love movies. Who doesn't? So today we're gonna talk about my favorite films. I would like to preface this by saying that my favorite films are not going to be the greatest films. Some of these might even be terrible movies, but they hold a special place in my heart for specific reasons. Keep that in mind. Also, the movies that I'm going to be talking about are not in a specific order, no 1 through 10 here, because that's a lot of pressure to list your favorite movies in order. I can't do that. They're all so great. I can't pick and choose the best, except for the first film. The first film I'm going to talk about is my #1 favorite film of all time. I watch this movie at least once a month. I can quote this movie line by line. It's that good to me. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might be able to guess what it is, but if not, that's fine. It is Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. This movie was directed by Gore Verbinski. It came out in 2003. It stars Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, Jeffrey Rush. It's about pirates. This is my go-to film when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm mad, whatever the feeling that I'm feeling, I will just want to watch this movie because it's my favorite movie and that's just what you do. Pirates of the Caribbean has one of my favorite movie scores of all time. It's beautiful. This movie is entertaining, it's fun, it will make you laugh, it might have some plot holes, but who cares? Ignore that. Also, Johnny Depp, he's gorgeous. Why would you not want to watch this? I hope you all like this movie. If you don't, that makes me really sad and I don't know if we can be friends. Sorry. So that was my favorite movie. Everything else after that is going to be in random orders. The Terminal came out in 2004. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. It stars Tom Hanks and it's about a man who gets stuck in an airport and cannot leave for specific reasons. I feel like this movie is a hidden gem from Steven Spielberg. Not a lot of people are the biggest fans of it. It's one of those movies that I could just watch again and again, and I love Tom Hanks. I think Tom Hanks is wonderful, except in the Da Vinci Code. This movie is so entertaining and I love all of the characters. The story is so heartfelt and funny. You don't see a lot of films just solely shot in an airport, so that itself is just really interesting and it's really fun just to see all of the craziness that goes on in an airport. And I don't know, for some reason I just really enjoy this film, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Next we have The Fifth Element, and The Fifth Element came out in 1997 and I think was directed by Luc Besson? I forget his name, but The Fifth Element stars Bruce Willis and Mia Jovovich, I forgot how to say her name, the girl from the Resident Evil films, and Chris Tucker? Is that who the guy? I could be wrong. I used to watch this film all the time. This film was what I would come home to after school and pop into the VHS, whatever you call it. Bruce Willis has been in a lot of really good movies, but for some reason this is my favorite one that he's in and I enjoy it so much. I love the sci-fi element to it, the comedy, and it's great. And if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go watch The Fifth Element. Next we're gonna talk about Forrest Gump, which came out in 1994 and was directed by Robert something. I forget his name. I loved this movie as a kid, and then I finally read the book a couple years ago. The book's really good too, movie's better, but it's just, I love Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is such an incredible actor. You know, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, but with this movie, you just get wonderfulness. Wonderfulness. Is that even a word? I don't know, but that's what we're gonna use to describe this film. Next we have Back to the Future. If Back to the Future is not one of your favorite films, something might be wrong with you. Maybe. I'm just kidding. Not really. This movie came out, I think, in 1995, and I'm pretty sure it was directed by the same guy who directed Forrest Gump. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. If you haven't seen Back to the Future, I honestly feel really bad for you, and you need to go and watch it right now because it's amazing and it's entertaining and it will make you happy. It's Back to the Future. How can you not love Back to the Future? Another movie I really love is Psycho, which came out in 1960. It's directed by Alfred Hitchcock, the guy who also directed The Birds. I want to say The Birds is one of my favorite films, but I prefer Psycho a little bit more. This is another one of those movies that I can just quote to the T. I have a strange infatuation with Norman Bates, and it's so wrong, but I can't help it. It's honestly just a great film. Next we have The Sixth Sense, which came out in 1999 and was directed by Mr. M. Night Shyamalan. Who cares? His movies are so bad. They're so bad, but this movie, The Sixth Sense, is honestly a really good film. It stars Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment. It's probably one of the best psychological thriller horror movies I've ever seen. The acting is beautiful, and everything about this movie is beautiful, and I really like Bruce Willis. Moving on. Jurassic Park, not to be mixed with Jurassic World. No. Jurassic Park came out in 1999, directed by the wonderful Steven Spielberg. Dinosaurs! How could you not love this movie? This is one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid, still is now, watch it all the time. You know when you were younger and your teacher asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up? You know what I said? I said I wanted to be a paleontologist like Dr. Alan Grant. My teacher gave me a weird look when I said that and then proceeded to give me a high five. So I think I was a cool kid. The next movie I'm going to mention is a Tim Burton film. I am a big Tim Burton fan, not so much of his newer movies in the past couple of years, but I'm a big fan of his older films. My favorite Tim Burton film is, oddly enough, Sleepy Hollow. We all know the legend of Sleepy Hollow. This came out in, I think, 1999, and it stars Johnny Depp, so I'm not really sure what it is about Sleepy Hollow that makes it my favorite Tim Burton film, but I think it might have to do with the atmosphere and the dark tone to that movie. It's just really eerie, and I love it, and Johnny Depp, of course, I love this movie, and I watch it a lot. I watch it every year during Halloween, and I don't get tired of it. Next, I'm going to mention my favorite Disney film, and it's an odd one that I don't think a lot of people have seen, and if they have seen it, it's not their favorite, but it's my favorite, and that is Oliver and Company. It came out in 1988, and it was directed by George Scribner. This movie is inspired by Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, which I still have not read yet. I feel like it's a little underrated, but I love everything about it. I love the characters, I love the story, I love the music. It's just a great time, and it also has my favorite Disney song, which is Why Should I Worry by Billy Joel. You probably don't even know what that song is. You should listen to it. It's great. Next, we have Ghost Ship, which came out in 2002 and was directed by Steve Beck. This is a really, really bad horror film, okay? I admit it. It's not a good movie. It's really bad, but it's so bad that it's good. And it's about a ghost ship. How can I not love this movie? It's really entertaining. That's why I really like it. Next, we have 13 Ghosts, which came out in 2001 and was also directed by Steve Beck. This is another horror movie that is really, really bad. I know it's bad, but it's also really, really good. It's really creepy, very scary. All of the ghosts in it are terrifying, and I highly enjoy it. I watch Ghost Ship and 13 Ghosts during Halloween every year, and I have a lot of fun watching them, and you should watch them. They're very bad, but also very good. How that makes sense? I'm not sure. And those are all of my favorite movies. Leave a comment below, tell me if you like these movies, if you hate these movies, have you seen these movies? What are your favorite movies? Just leave a comment below. We could chit chat. And that's all I really have to say for today's video. But really, if you do not like Pirates of the Caribbean, then we cannot be friends.